Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Good to be back in here.
Yeah, warm and toasty. It's a cold night. Had the heater on early.
Yeah, they're like early to mid-November. We had a stretch of cold weather.
We did.
Heck, it was getting below freezing every night. A little cooler than normal for us. And then, heck, we kind of been spoiled. It's been warm the last few days. And then, I guess it was last night. All the storms came through and cold front and. Yeah, it's chilly out there.
Yeah, I got woke up at like 2 o'clock. It sounded like a tornado outside my window.
See, I did not. I slept through it. It got a lot. They got a lot more rain just south of here. Except when I took my kids to school this morning, there was 2 or 3 places where there was debris all over the road, and it was just where the side ditches had blown out, and it was just leaves everywhere.
Well, I think Mississippi got pounded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But even like just around Memphis and Shelby County, it looked like got more rain
hard
than we did.
Yeah.
Which I've already flipped over all my rain gauges so they don't freeze and bust on me. So I don't know how much it rained. We didn't get as much as they thought we could.
Yeah. No, I have no clue either. This time of year, I'm not paying attention to a whole lot of it.
Yeah. Well, I just hate it. I was talking to your dad this morning because it's supposed to rain like all weekend and into early next week. We're like, yep, this is typically how it goes. Fall, and thankfully I'm not having to feed cows yet, but kind of start feeding cows and it's usually not too muddy. Then it's just like all of a sudden a switch flips and it just starts raining and it doesn't stop.
See, and that's
go from basically no mud at all to knee deep mud overnight.
See, that's what sucks too, because that's what's killed me. The winter is when I need to be running the track hoe, and that's what has killed me the last 2 to 3 winters have been like that. And that's exactly what I was thinking, because I looked at the map or the weather just about an hour ago when I was eating dinner, and I looked and I saw from the 4th to the 11th there was rain every day.
Yeah.
And I said, dadgum, man, dang. So I don't know that I'll be on the track a whole lot, which, and the bad thing is I got to work on it. I got that oil leak still.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have to lay on the ground. So I don't really want to be laying in the...
Take you a bunch of cardboard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I tell everyone so for those of you watching, you might can see here. Let's see if I can zoom in for the YouTube. Y'all can kind of see that bottle there. I got some nice Weller Full Proof. I busted out for a special occasion. Now, Bobby Lee he came a little bit more prepared.
I'm about done with my first drink, though. So
there you go.
I'll be glad to try it.
Well, it's in your honor.
Okay.
So I had a discussion about you yesterday with a friend of ours.
Okay.
You know him, and he called me, and we were talking, and I said, Bobby Lee, he's a cattleman, but he's earned a new title. And so I figured our listeners could be a part of this celebration there. You're officially a cowboy. You became a cowboy the other day. So for people that don't know, Bobby Lee got bucked by a bull. Brock and I thought you were going to go up into the ceiling.
Bullfighter, something like that. Yeah, it was not intentional, and it was just for those who, obviously I know some of you watch YouTube and whatnot. I had a camera there clipped on the gate, but the battery was nearly dead, and so I'd cut the camera off. You had been filming, because it was we had a bull. I don't know, which we'll get the ticket in the mail. He was probably
1,200 pounds,
1,400 pound bull. Yeah, horned too, which was
makes
kind
it
of
better.
icing on the cake. Yeah. And he was stirred up. So, but yeah. There was no cameras rolling when it actually happened. And he caught me square.
He did, man. That's what I had my phone up. Yeah, I was videoing because everybody had cleared out, which for me, because I put it on Facebook, and naturally I had one person comment and said, why don't you put the phone down and go help him? And I commented and said, no need in 2 of us getting clobbered.
Which we were loading cattle. Our dads were. They've been, which heck, that was a bull that, just one that home raised. They hadn't, hell, he should have been sold a year ago. As a calf or as a yearling. But anyway,
But we had all cleared out.
We had already loaded one group and sent them, and then truck driver. It's about an hour drive to the sale barn, and he was coming back to get another group, and so we caught some more, and he was one of them.
Yeah.
We're like, well, heck yeah, that was one of the prime animals we wanted out of there more than any. And buddy, he was stirred up, and I turned my back on him for a split second, and I turned back. I remember looking back right as he was hitting me, and I was like, so I kind of saw it coming for a split second, and I was right there by a big post in the barn where I
could have got by it, yeah.
But I turned my back on him, and because he wasn't the only one in there, and I took a little ride.
You did, man. You got airborne. That's what, like I said, Brock was like, man, I thought Bobby Lee was going to hit the ceiling in there. I mean, he did. He launched you, and but you walked in here all right.
Yeah, so that was Monday. Today's Wednesday. So I was like, man, I will not be able to get out of bed tomorrow when it happened. And I mean, it's sore, because he caught me right in the thigh, which I've thought about. I was like, that was probably the best place he could have hit me. Much higher, I wouldn't want to be hitting like the pelvis or the abdomen or certainly the chest. And of course, when they're coming at you, they usually got head down.
Yeah.
And a little lower, and him like just buckling my knee would have probably
jacked up your MCL or whatever, yeah. ACL, whatever.
But then when I landed, of course, I landed more on my upper body, and so my shoulder, my elbow were all sore. But it actually is my knee that's more sore right now, and I don't know, because I know I can show you exactly where it hit me.
Got a good bruise there.
It really hadn't bruised too bad, but I can feel it.
Yeah.
But I must have, when I landed, because I landed more on my like shoulders and head.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like my knee, anytime I like bend over or like squat down, I'm like, oh, it's my knee. But,
Loophole sunglasses held up.
Yeah, they did. I think they were they didn't even come off my hat, I don't think. Because we were in the barn, and it's covered, and so I had them on my hat. Because, I handed them to you when I climbed the fence.
There you go. They can survive getting smoked by a bull.
Yeah, yeah.
No, man, that's how, and that's what the guy that I was talking to yesterday, that's what we were talking about. I said, he saw the video, and he was laughing because he saw that comment. He's like,
you started videoing again right after it happened.
Yes.
And you actually got some pretty good footage, which
you almost got smoked again.
Yeah, which I do have that in my next YouTube video that
were you able to use it? I should have Dropboxed it to you or something.
Yeah, you could. I got it like off your Facebook. So it's not great quality, but it's a pretty short segment, so it'll work.
Well, I can Dropbox it to you, or have you already put it in the video?
I have.
Okay.
Which I hadn't uploaded it. I'll upload it tomorrow. But anyway, Young got the YouTube.
Well, that's how I was.
Or Logan's Facebook. It's on there too, that part. But.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was video. Well, and I put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Y'all can check it out on there. But I was videoing because after you got hit, you stayed in there because we made your dad and them get out. Because, your dad's dang near 70.
Well, I got thinking, I was like, between you and my brother and Brock, and it was me and my nearly 70-year-old dad in there. I was like, Lord, that's what I told Dad. I was like, Dad, you get out of here. Like, it's one thing for him to hit me like that. And he could have hurt me. He easily could have hurt me a lot worse than he did, but yeah.
Oh, well, that's what I told Drew. I was like, when me and him were talking, I said, you can get in there. I said, I'm a row crop farmer. I said, I got some cows. My cows, I can pet mine on the head. I said,
heck, I can do that to mine.
Yeah. I said, but I'm fine with working the gate, but I said, I'm no cattleman. I'm just a row crop guy. And so, yeah, no, that's basically what I told the guy yesterday. I said, yeah, I'm not claiming to be a cowboy. I said, but I said, Bobby Lee, I said, he earned the title cowboy now. And that's what he said. He said, that's right, man. It's kind of like a badge of honor. And he said, you get hit by a bull and thrown by a bull. He said, man, nobody can deny, man, you're a cowboy.
Which, and of course, at first, I was just glad to get out of there and get them loaded. And I was like, whatever. But then, the longer it went yesterday, I was like, I cannot believe I didn't have a camera going. At least you would have had that consolation of.
Yep.
There
the 100,000 views that you get.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, it would have been great. Yeah, for just great content, and then just proof that. Because heck, I would have wanted to see it.
You got smoked. Yeah, you did that in the video. Well, the video I have, like I said, he comes at you, you get around there, and you can hear your dad go, "Watch out, Bobby Lee!"
Yeah.
And you jump up on the gate, and my dad comes around because me and him are about on the same page because he had already told me, he said, "I'm not getting in there," and he goes, "One try to get Bobby Lee," and you can hear me say, "Yeah, man, it got him bad," you know.
Well, I remember because of course it was kind of like I was in slow motion when I was in the air.
Yeah.
And then when I hit the ground, it kind of took me a second. I remember my dad yelling, "You need to get up. You better get up." Because luckily he hit me and he ran back to the
Yeah, he didn't try to just wear you out. Yeah.
But I remember later I was like, well, wasn't nobody coming in there to help me?
No, we were all like, "Get up, get up."
Which I guess in y'all's defense, y'all saw that he had run back off.
Well, just like I told him on Facebook, man, no needing two of us getting clobbered.
Yeah.
Now, if he had started mauling you, I'd have pushed Drew in there or something.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that was the excitement for this week.
Yeah, so that's why I busted out the foolproof in honor of you earning the Cowboy title.
Okay.
I felt like you could you deserved a nice
Well, I finished my
bourbon.
my initial drink, so I'll try it. On that note,
Try it there, and I should have played us let's see, I should have played us a tune here. Let's see, in honor of that.
the foolproof Weller.
Man, I'm telling you, if you don't like it, I'll be shocked. But yeah, no, it was crazy. I've seen people get hit, and I've had some close calls back when we would work them a good bit, but like that was the best hit I've ever seen.
Well, in person probably, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you've seen some good wrecks.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to thinking later, I was like, man, I love watching good rodeo wrecks on.
Well, that's what the guy I was
YouTube,
talking
whatever.
to yesterday
I
said.
was like, this is what I was deserved because I've laughed my ass off at people getting tossed around and hit by bulls. The best one I God knows how many times I've watched. There you go.
We should have started this segment with this one right here.
We could have. There's a video, and it's not bull poker because everybody knows bull poker. They sit at the table and laugh.
Oh, yeah.
This is just where they had people from the crowd, and they're all standing out in the arena, and they've got little circles for them to stand in, like it with chalk, and they have to stand there.
Was this in what was this on?
I found it like on YouTube,
Oh.
and like they let one bull out, and like he's not aggressive enough, like he won't charge them. Like
Yeah.
he runs around, like it gets almost boring, and so like all right, they get that bull out of there. Then it was like they overcompensated. I can imagine the stock contractor was like, all right, I got one we can turn in there.
Yeah.
And buddy, this sucker comes in there, and I mean, you can just skip to that part of the video. It is incredible. Like he wrecks some guys, and they scatter. Like it's over fast. But I remember just watching. He tosses one guy in there. Definitely would have been better than mine because I think this guy did like a 180.
Oh yeah,
like a 360 in the air. And like I just remember just rewinding and watching that over and over, just rolling on the floor laughing. Like, yeah, that's what I deserve.
Did you watch I can't remember if it was the new one. Did you watch Jackass when Johnny Knoxville got, I think it might have been the new one. Marcy and I went and saw the new Jackass in theaters, which ended up just being like nonstop dicks the whole time. But I think that's the one where he blindfolds himself and he stands there and they let a bull in there with him and he knows it's coming, but it just runs straight at him and it just barrels through him. And he does like flips in the air, and he actually had I think he had a brain bleed. They had to take him to the hospital.
Yeah, that's not smart. but like everybody loves watching those. Like I remember as a kid, long before the internet even, we would there was rodeo bloopers. Like we had it on VHS.
Yeah.
Rodeo bumps and bruises.
I remember the commercials. Yeah.
Like we'd put those VHS tapes in. And of course, 90% of it is bull ride. They show some other, there's some calf roping and stuff where guys would get tangled up and fall and other bucking horse events and whatnot. But it's always the bull ride where you get the crashes. But
well, that's exactly the guy I talked to yesterday. He said, maybe I got a sick sense of humor, but he said, I love watching somebody get hit by a bull. And I said, yeah, because he said, I sure wish you had videoed it. And he was,
oh, that's what I was like, man, you know, and again, at first I didn't really care, but later on, like last night, I was like, that would have been incredible.
oh, you know, and I kept telling you how sick I was. I was like, man, Dad and Brock, I told, we were sitting in the birdhouse later that day, and I said, I cannot believe. I said, I had not quit filming for 10 seconds when that happened.
Oh, really? So I didn't realize it was that close. Well, that's just like with YouTube, and it sucks when it comes to editing. If you have like just a ton of video, that's not really that great. But that's why you always just need the camera rolling, because you never know. I was doing something today, and I was doing some filming for YouTube.
Yeah.
But same thing. Actually, the battery completely died this time. I was trying to catch a calf. Had a calf born yesterday.
Yeah.
Got separate. I moved the cows to a new pasture. Well, naturally, she had him laying up. She would have gone back and got him eventually. But I was like, I want to take him. He got up when we were running, and I ran up. I was on the side by side. He was rolling, and I rode up along beside him and grabbed him by the leg while I was probably doing 15, 20 mile an hour on the side by side grab. I was like, I just felt like I was like, holy crap! Like I can't believe that actually worked. I was able to get along beside him and grab him and like not run over him. You know, and me not hurt myself either. I was like, and it was just
nothing videoed.
Me and the calf and the dog were the only. And nothing on camera.
Yeah.
So I was like, that would have been pretty nice footage. But yeah, whatever.
Well,
so I've learned several good lessons this week on you just need the camera always rolling. Take extra batteries.
Well, that's like the people that said put the camera down and help. They were so wrong, man. Because like I if I had not put the camera down from the get-go, we'd have had that footage.
Well, that's where there's a crying shame too, because my GoPro was clipped on the gate right there.
Yep.
Where it could have been filming every bit of it.
Dad and Brock said that you need to just get back in there. They were like, we need to just convince him to get back in there and let him just have it.
No, that's one of those things. It's got to be, what was everybody like saying, completely organic. And real.
Organic, yep.
It's got to just happen. And there was no, I'd certainly, well, if I'd done it on purpose, I would have made sure the camera was rolling.
Well, everybody listening, y'all need to go congratulate Bobby Lee on becoming a cowboy, because he's earned the title Cowboy. So there you go. That's what we're drinking to tonight, is him earning his cowboy stripes.
That's high quality.
It is, man. I'm a weeded bourbon fan. I like that. So Weller Full Proof. I might have actually had one bottle of that before. So yeah, they're thinning the herd. I'm trying to think, anything we want to add on that as far as with the herd numbers or any of that goes?
Oh, no, well, like when I was by here earlier today, I went ahead and fed them cows again. But, of course, we caught 2 different bunches to haul. And now when you keep feeding,
they're kind of leery.
Well, the same ones that come in there are just the cows. Like, we already caught all the calves that were coming in there. And so, I don't know. We planned on sending some more next week. They're not selling completely out, but just needing to get rid of some calves and some older cows. And so I was telling your dad, I said, I don't know. We it may be a few weeks before we start getting another bunch that's, feed trained well enough to get in there. So
might have to go old school like we used to and get on the 4-wheelers and
we don't
run them up in there.
But we don't have
our gate, our fence.
Our old alleyway where we used to do that isn't really. So one thing about it, like if you got a cow or a heifer in heat, you'll get all those. I mean, every bull calf out there from all the way down to just a young calf will be in there. So you'll catch some like that, but because there's still a bunch of calves that need to be caught. But we caught all the ones that were coming in there. So today I was looking, and there was probably 30 cows came in there, and I looked and I was like, every one of these are cows that
turned out
that aren't sell. We won't sell. So it wasn't shocking, but I said, I don't know. We may not be able to send a load next week.
Yeah.
But that's probably all on that.
Well, good deal. Yeah. They thinning the herd. Well, on the update that I got, so we mentioned the GMO corn ban in Mexico. Well, it's kind of, the plot has thickened on that apparently. So apparently that was only for the yellow corn used for human consumption. The feed GMO corn they still want to take. Well, the U.S. has said that they're violating their agreement, some sort of pact or something they've got,
or something
like by not wanting to take this. So they are essentially, the U.S. is basically telling them, we'll, I guess, basically sue you.
Well, and this whole thing kind of seemed like
a political ploy.
Yeah, just like him saying they're going to do that when, like Biden saying he's going to cancel student loan debt when, you saw where a federal judge said that, it's unconstitutional. He can't even do that.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was almost like, he'll make a promise. Like, oh, well, we tried,
Sounds good.
Because, and you may know the answer to this better than me, being a corn grower. So, like yellow corn that, you grow, I didn't think much of that even went to human consumption.
Well, I didn't think that it did. Most of it's fuel and, some feed, plastics.
A lot of animal feed, like corn syrup, cornstarch, like those products, I guess, do they come from just the yellow corn, like field corn?
I guess some of those do, but it kind of, some people grow that white corn.
Well, that's what, because like tortillas and things like that, I think even all the chips come from white corn,
I would imagine.
I don't think that comes from like our field corn, does it?
I don't think so. I mean, and that's...
Like when you buy a sack of cornmeal at the grocery store, I don't think that's typically, it's not from the corn.
I've always assumed, for the most part...
That should be something pretty easy to look up. What percentage of actual field corn, yellow corn, whatever you want to call it,
is human
goes into human consumption?
Yeah.
A lot of it. Well, that's the other thing I did today. I went and got a bunch of corn from your dad that I'm feeding out my steers on. So, we most of that goes those chickens, hogs, cattle, whatever. We're turning corn into beef or pork or chicken if you like to eat that crap.
Well, it's interesting to see, and that's what it seems to be, is really just a political fodder kind of thing, which he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's like whenever we halted the import of the avocados, we talked about that. It was all, in response to, what was it? I don't even remember, they had threatened.
Was it the cartel? Something to do with cartels.
Well, the cartel runs a lot of the avocado industry now, apparently. Anywhere where there's money in Mexico that you're going to find the cartel.
Fuzzy hand, it's everywhere.
Yep.
But that's what it's political. And I mean, and here's the thing, like they said, one, it would obviously hurt the American farmers because we sell 17 million tons. They're the number 2 importer of corn. China is number 1, and number 2 being Mexico. But it would cripple the Mexican communities essentially, because a lot of them are going to be in that lower income bracket. And their prices for corn would go higher. Tortilla, I mean, all those things.
Well, right. Well, and it's always like that, where you get these,
the people that aren't going to be affected,
celebrities, whoever, crying out for this stuff, and it's like,
it's like you can afford the change. The normal guy can't.
Yeah, because my immediate question is, okay, well, where are they going to get their corn from now?
Yeah.
If they refuse to buy.
I mean, what is a Mexican world without tortillas?
Yeah, what is my world without tortillas?
That's a good question. I had some. Yeah, actually, I ate tortillas 2 nights ago.
I'm trying to think when I last had a tortilla. I mean, I
had tortilla chips yesterday.
I actually ate some tortilla chips today myself. I make breakfast burritos at least once a week. I eat tacos. I almost made fajitas tonight, but instead I did a Asian stir fry had some venison steak. I was like, I'm either going to do fajitas or stir fry. I went stir fry.
You know what I don't like, speaking of stir fry? I don't like the stir fry meat you get that's so tough that you can't freaking even chew it.
Well, I always use, this was some of my mule deer that I killed.
Well, I'll tell you what I did, and some people might be highly offended by it, but I don't care. It tasted incredible. So I went up here to Nafy's, and I was going to make some stir fry one night, and they had the bag of...
You got deer meat and beef and all in your freezer?
I know, but I hadn't prepped, and this was last minute. So
you didn't have anything thawed?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. And I was like, because I had the kids, and I was like, the time had caught up with me. So I was like, oh crap, I gotta cook something. And so I ran up to Nafy's just to see what I could find, and I saw a bag of the stir fry veggies. I was like, all right, that's stir fry is pretty easy.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed that, and I bought some fillets. I said, I'm about to do something. I'm going to really try something. So I actually took the fillets, and I came back, and I seared them in a pan, and then I sliced them, and then I put them in there in the stir fry. I cooked some rice, cooked the stir fry, and seasoned it up. Oh, dude, it was badass. Like, I don't care if people get mad that I used filet meat for stir fry. It was awesome.
That's basically what I did tonight, although I used like round steaks out of this deer.
Yeah.
Which I knew they weren't a great cut, but I had them sliced thin. I did the same thing. I seared them in my cast iron. Then I sliced them.
That's what I did, yeah.
Because that's the key. Some people want to slice it raw and then cook it.
Oh, yeah, no.
Now cook it, then slice it. Then I tossed it back in my skillet with my vegetables, poured a little bit of like teriyaki sauce over it, just heat it up just a little bit, not enough to really cook it. And
did you use the glaze, or did you just use regular teriyaki?
This was actually, I think it was Sweet Baby Ray's teriyaki sauce.
So it's thick.
Yeah. It's
all right,
thick.
I was going to say the glaze is the game changer.
Yeah. I had like broccoli cauliflower mix, and heck, my kids tore it up, and my kids are picky.
Oh, really?
And I made some fried rice.
Yeah.
They'd barely eat the fried rice. I'm like, it's literally like rice and soy sauce, like a couple of eggs and whatever. But they're like, this meat is so good. I was like, yeah, that's just basically a roast that I sliced into little steaks out of a mule deer. But anyway.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there's cooking with Talk Dirt to me.
Yeah. Well, that was we sidetracked from our tortilla discussion, but yes, I don't know. It is interesting. I don't know that anything will come out of it. The one thing I did see that was kind of neat, and I would actually, look, if they had an honest, unbiased study on this, I would be interested in seeing it. And that is that they said the president of Mexico said he would like for a committee to investigate if there are negative outcomes to humans consuming GMO products. I would be fine with that. Like trying to study long term, because
and look, that is great when he's that's a hard study.
How do you get an unbiased study?
Well, and I don't even see that problem. I mean, yeah. I mean, I shouldn't say that.
How do you base it solely off of the GMO and not other lifestyle things?
So many other factors, and then you know how long that would take, and then are you getting a control group? Like, okay, here's these.
You can never drink alcohol again.
Yeah.
You can't smoke cigarettes.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
All right, we got this group of people, say we're going to get them as young adults. All right, from this point forward in your life, you're never going to eat another GMO.
Yeah.
Or genetically modified product. Then we're going to have this other group. Y'all just do what you want. Eat, drink, whatever. But you can't let them drink, can't let them smoke, because then, if that group has problems, well, what? So, man, that's...
And really, actually, you'd even have to be like, and every one of you is going to have to, you have to all walk exactly 10,000 steps a day. Like, you would physically have to be the same.
It would be a really... Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much impossible what he's proposing. And it's like, I don't know, I look at it like, look, our life expectancy is longer now than it ever has been. And we're eating these products. Now, if somehow we got to where, we were regularly, I don't know, what's the average life expectancy?
78 or something?
Yeah, mid-70s, somewhere in there. The longer it goes, if it gets to where, I don't know, several hundred years from now, all of a sudden, average life expectancy is 110, or whatever. well, I don't know, over that many years, yeah, you may start to see problems that can eventually creep up from, eating a product that has genetic modification to it, whatever. But I know we see it all the time, like in veterinary medicine. People are like, well, all these dogs get cancer these days, which hell, I'm right there. Hello.
You've had 3.
Yeah. But you know what? And I tell people this all the time. When your dog gets cancer, that's a good thing. And that's a weird way of saying it. But that means you prevented everything else from going wrong.
Yeah.
Like dogs get cancer now because they live to be teenage year.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are like, my dogs back in the old days, we never gave them no heartworm meds or nothing. Hell,
and they died at 6 years old.
They all lived to be 3 or 4 years old. Never had a single problem in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they die of quote unquote natural causes at 3 or 4 because they've never had a vaccine or heartworm or any parasite prevention and, run loose and, get shot by the neighbor because they're chasing his cows or get out in the middle of the road and get hit. Yeah. They don't have to worry about cancer.
Yeah.
Just like when people starve to death because we're not, we're not using any genetic modification. They don't have to worry about getting cancer.
That's true. Yeah.
So because we hear that sometimes. I'm like, look, I think a lot of that's a byproduct of, I mean, nowadays you get a dog and you expect it to live to be a teenager.
Yeah.
And a lot of them do, thankfully. And a lot of those end up with cancers and other problems. And, so I don't know.
I don't either. I mean, if there were a way that they could truly do it, I'd be all for it just out of curiosity. But more than anything, it seems to be just a political ploy. I mean, because he even mentioned like some sort of timeline that they would have to transition a little bit, but he never mentioned a start date for the timeline and didn't mention an end date. So, I mean, it kind of sounds like
if Mexican politicians are anything like American politicians, it's all just a talking point, a campaign slogan he had, or we're going to, even though he knows it's not even possible. Again, just like the whole, I'm going to cancel all student loan debt. Well, no. And he probably had, legal experts on his team and were like, yeah, it's probably not going to work. And he's like, well, we're still going to go with it.
Sound good anyways.
He wasn't saying that, but somebody on his team was.
Yeah.
He was mumbling about ice cream or.
We need to ask Ed Calderon what his thoughts are on the Mexican government taking down this.
I don't know. Anything like, I'm as bad as.
Now China's trying to pull some shit on us though. We talked to our marketer yesterday. Actually saw him when we were eating lunch, and apparently China's been going to Argentina to buy a lot of corn or something now.
Yeah,
which China will literally try anything to like get at the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an obvious, like, I guess it's a strange rivalry between the U.S. and China. And
I don't know what all countries are considered superpowers right now, but I mean, we're definitely 2 of them.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, and they got some serious turmoil going on over there right now.
Oh, yeah. And of course, they're trying to suppress it all. I'm amazed how much of it actually gets out, which I guess with like technology, you could say the opposite. You're amazed they're able to suppress information. But they say it's the biggest, protest they've had since the Tiananmen Square or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to look here. So I was curious.
Yeah, and I don't want to get completely political, but yeah, you see like different people are like, oh yeah, the Chinese people have the right to protest, and like Trudeau, our Canadian buddy, they're like, well, dude, you shut down the trucker protest in your own country. You told them they didn't have a right to do that. And it was over the exact same, issues with COVID. And, but now you're like, oh, we'll stand with the Chinese people and whatnot. But,
well, it sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. See, we don't have any Chinese listeners to the show here. I was looking because I've got like 2 that have listened to Living Fully Loaded.
Really? You know,
They probably got killed.
I've known people that that have traveled to China, and they're like, no, it's real. Like when you like access the internet there, like there's, it's like you've got a parental blockage. Like you can't go to certain websites.
Like even on your phone?
I don't know if they were using a phone, a laptop, or whatever, but yeah, like when you were there, like you can't like go to like a lot of news sites. Like I guess you can only, I mean, because obviously they want just their state-run news outlets.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm sure they're telling them,
This is what you can say.
Their perspective is, you know, well, these protests are outrageous, and you know they're unfounded, and there's no reason for these people to be acting like this because they have no independent journalism that's allowed to out. And hell, I sit here and say this stuff like I'm some Chinese expert.
Well, let me see. Actually, I might have been wrong here. I'm curious if we have any Chinese listeners. Oh, all right. Hold on here.
Yeah, in a way, I'd be surprised just because, of the censorship and how they don't allow.
Well, our number 2. So for people listening here, we are international. But we are extremely American. On our breakdown of people that listen to us outside of the United States, I mean, if I were to do the percentages of it, it's like, I don't know if 1% of our listeners are outside of the United States, but like, where do you think number 2 is? I bet it's kind of surprised you.
Outside of the United States, I mean, just my initial would be probably Canada.
That's what you would think, but that's not number 2. Canada's actually number 3.
Okay, England.
Germany.
You know, I was trying to pull up my YouTube. Germany's my number 2 on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's you. Maybe is it 79 Germans that listen to your YouTube?
It's 4.7%, and that's
not a bad little chunk.
Yeah. I was trying to look. I may have to be on a laptop to, the full desktop version. 'Cause I was going to see how far down I had to scroll to get to China, but I bet it's basically the bottom because they probably don't allow their citizens to get on there and just watch random stuff on YouTube.
Well, that's what I was trying to see even on any of the platforms if I had China. Like, because Living Fully Loaded, like my number 2 on Living Fully Loaded is actually Australia. I'm Australia strong on there.
Yeah, well, like especially for the audio content, it needs to be somewhere that obviously has a fair percentage of people that speak English.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, I don't know. I could have swore that I had seen China on my Living Fully Loaded, but I don't even see it on here. Because, I mean, there's even Russia. Russia listens to some of them.
A weird thing, like, and this is, I don't want to go too far off, but on YouTube, like, I got an alert, like, on my YouTube that some of my content may have been used or stolen by somebody. And, like, gave me a link to it. And I clicked on it, and it was my video, like, it was me. And it was all, like, I don't know what you call it, dubbed over or whatever. In I don't know what language it was, but it was definitely Asian. So it was like me doing this stuff with like an Asian guy, like doing the voiceover. And I was like, what the hell? I don't know what they were saying. I don't know if he was like saying, look at this asshole doing this, doing this.
There was no sort of translate thing you could use?
No. And I was like, what? And it was like, do you approve of this? And I was like, well, I didn't give them permission. So I was like,
no.
I reported it or whatever, and I assumed they took it down. But I was like, what in the world?
That would have been funny if you like could translate it and it was like, look at this hillbilly son of a bitch or something.
Probably was, yeah.
No, they were probably like, we want his wife to castrate us. And that's what all of them Asian guys want Kaylin to do.
Yeah, for those of you listening, that one of my early videos that kind of took off was my wife. We were working cows, and I had her castrating a bull, and that one got real popular, and it was really popular. It seemed like with I would get comments on the video, and they'd be in some other language, and I would translate them, and it would, like, the rough translation would be something like, yeah, I would allow you to castrate me. And I was like, oh my Lord.
It's like, I don't know if you quite understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Maybe the translation doesn't do well.
Some desperate Asian men out there. But
yeah. But no, that's really the latest on that with Mexico and the president. Like, sounds like
I really think that was all just like a politician being a politician. Yeah.
Well, and saying
saying he was going to do something that he knew was impossible.
I think it's going to get heated though, because our one of our guys, maybe I don't remember if it was our director of agriculture or whatever here, but he said that a legal battle essentially between the U.S. and Mexico on the imports seems imminent.
Okay.
So they're kind of expecting it to get pretty heated between the two countries, and I guess
and maybe they're using it, just as leverage to say, well, now you've got to, maybe there's something we want to import from them, and trying to get us to compromise on something else, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't either, but it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, there hasn't been just crazy news. I'm trying to think of anything else. Man. Oh, no, I got one other thing I was going to touch on. And this is an annoyance that I have in the ag world. So there was a big auction today, and I was watching it online, which, and that's also part of the problem. Me and Dad were talking about it, and we were bitching about online has killed deals at auctions. Like, used to, you go to an auction, you had to be there to buy something at an auction.
Oh, and you'd love it. Like, if you really want to buy something, if like the weather was just terrible.
Yeah, the worse it was, the better. Like, cold and raining was like the best because,
you'd hope to show up and you'd be one of two guys. But then the opposite, like if you're ever selling something, of course, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you want it packed. But that was back before the online stuff. And you used to hate then. I can't say that stuff didn't happen, because back then you always hated seeing that guy that was just on a phone the whole time, and you were like, these sons of bitch jockeys out here. You want to be like, get the hell out of here. You wanted to like run them out. But that times have changed. Now every auction is on site and online for the most part. And I'm here complaining about it, but like I'm like, well, it's there. I might as well take advantage of it. So I get on these auctions online.
I bought my service truck.
Yeah, and
online.
Bought my Peterbilt on online auction.
I bought bulls on online auctions. I've done that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Well, farmers are the worst. I've come to that conclusion. Like, I'm a farmer. Row crop farmers especially are the worst. So this auction today, it was older farmer retired and was getting out. And man, he had some awesome equipment. He had a 9520, I think it was the number, or 9420 John Deere tractor that had tracks on the front and back. It was like a 2020 or something, super bad tractor. It went for like $400,000.
I was going to say like $320,000. Like,
yeah, I was like, man, damn, if they had 2 of them, I'd have bought them, but they only had 1, and so I didn't buy it. But like that, they had that. Their combine, they had a 780 that had 200 hours on it, like brand new.
Like they just used it this harvest.
Yes, used it this harvest, and it sold for like $450,000. But what pisses me off, like, that sucks, that price on the combine, but really that's probably about accurate for that combine. That's probably a deal on it, really. It's about a $600,000 combine. I'm pretty sure, brand new. But what is the thing that pisses me off is they had some hopper bottoms there. And, used to, man, you'd buy a hopper bottom.
Grain trailer.
Yeah. And, and it would cost you. You could get a decent hopper bottom. I actually remember going to an auction 2 or 3 years ago, and $18,000 would buy you a nice hopper bottom, like a 40-foot, 39-foot. Because I know, because I bought one for Dad, and I was like actually bidding on one, and we got it. I think we paid $18,000 for it, and this was a nice one.
Late model.
Yeah, it was like a 2015 CPS or something.
Yeah.
and it was a steel trailer, which we like steel. And so there was some on here, and I was looking during harvest time because I needed one. I needed a trailer, but I never could find one. Well, even during this harvest, like I was seeing pretty nice hopper bottoms, and they would go for 25 to 33,000. And even that, like getting up into the 30s, I was just like, damn, that's too high. There was some Wilson. There was this 40-foot Wilson. It was a 2014 model, and I was watching it. Like I had saved them, so I was watching it, and that son of a gun sold for $45,000. Brand new, that trailer was probably $35,000. It's a 2014 model, and I'm just watching this stuff, and they had several more hopper bottoms, and every one of them went for like nearly that one went over 40. They had one more, I think, that went for 40, and they had another one that almost went for 40. And I'm watching it, and I'm just like, you dumb sons of bitches. Like, y'all are the reason we can't buy shit. Like, they got a pocket full of cash because harvest is done.
But, I mean, an auction is the truest form of a competitive market. Like, that's what we're battling in the cattle industry right now is like when it comes to fat cattle, you know, and live cattle, you don't, so few of them sell at auction where there's competitive bidding, but that's really when you find true price discovery.
Yeah, well,
because you got two guys there, you know, or at least two, you know, that want it, and one, you know, that's, I mean, the flip side of that is that's really where the market is right now today.
Yeah, well, it's dumb. It's a dumb market.
And I've been at them trying to buy cattle equipment, and you think, oh gosh, especially around here, there aren't that many people in the cattle business, and you know, just trying to buy like, you know, a squeeze chute or, you know, just anything like that, and people will pay nearly new price for used stuff, and it's just like, man. And like, you know, I look at it from the Tennessee Ag Enhancement Program, which now you can buy used equipment, but back several years ago you couldn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, y'all are paying, you know, say something, you know, it's a $4,000 squeeze chute, and it's several years old. They're paying $3,500 for it. Well, I can buy a brand new one on a 50% cost share for $4,000, and I only have to pay $2,000 for it because the cost share pays the other $2,000. And y'all are paying $3,500 for a used one. Like, y'all are dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and that now they've changed that where you can buy some used stuff, you know.
But that's what it gets me because December is always the worst because farmers have gotten a lot of money, and then some of them are like, I got to spend money so I don't have to pay taxes.
That's exactly right. And see,
but that's annoying to me.
Well, and see, there's like some heifer sales that you see doing pretty good this time of year and whatnot, because same thing, especially you have guys that are like that farm and have cattle, and same thing. You know, that they just wrapped up harvest, they got some cash on hand. You know, they've talked to the CPA, and they're like, well, look, you can pay taxes, or if you want to find a way to spend it, they're like, well, we stand to have another 15 or 20 mama cows. Like, they go out and pay too much for some heifers.
Yeah.
You know, especially like up through the Midwest, and kind of that area where there's a lot of guys that do both.
Yeah. Well, that's what I dreaded, because there's a farm sale Tennessee Tractor does, like, I think it may be every year, every other year or something. And it's coming up. You ought to go December 10th.
Well, there's another one. Is that Saturday?
No, it'd be
that'd be next weekend. Yeah. Well, this weekend there's one. I think it's this weekend.
No, that's the one you were telling me. Is it in?
No, it's next weekend too. Yeah, they're both next weekend.
Okay.
They may be on the same day. Yeah.
Well,
because I was over there, I bought a gravity wagon from the guy, and they were bringing in equipment already, you know, a week and a half before that auction.
Well, I'm going to the John Deere one.
Yeah.
Because, see, they did this like two or 3 years ago. And I don't remember what time of year they did it, but I didn't go. And they sold like some really nice combines, and nobody was bidding on them. They sold like a 680 for like $90,000. And it was probably a damn near $200,000 combine. Like, they got destroyed on the money of them, but like no one was buying anything. Like I I got to talking to people that were there, and they were like, "Oh, dude," they were like, everything was dirt cheap.
Would you just have a bunch of tire kickers there?
I guess so. Like, hey, they just didn't have a good turnout, and so I'm gonna go. If I go, everything will sell tremendously high.
What's one of the local co-ops puts on a heifer sale every year, and I maybe even mentioned this on here. I went for several years in a row where I had a pocket full of money, tried my damnedest to buy some heifers, and they would get so freaking high. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is a seller's market here. Like, you don't need to come up here buying heifers. You need to come up here selling heifers.
Yeah.
And I talked my brother into buying a group of heifers with me, and I was like, we'll pick out the 3 best ones, take them up there. Oh, yeah. We went up there, and normally it's standing room only. You can't even, like, if you're wanting to bid, you're having, like, elbow people out of the way so you can even,
Yeah.
We get up there that day, there were, no lie, there were probably 30% of the people that are normally there. Like, there was seats in the bleachers wherever you wanted. Like, it was just a bad feeling. And, yeah, we brought our 3 back home.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But the market, had the cattle market had dropped considerably. But yeah, it was just like, yeah, that's the way it goes. Yeah.
It is. Well, that's because see, I was bidding on some GPS equipment on the auction today. I was wanting to pick up another globe and monitor, and I bought the globe and the monitor together from Tennessee Tractor like a year ago or 2 years ago, and I paid $9,500 for both of them. Like, that's the together price. And today, guys, we're paying $8,000 just for the globe. And that's what I'm watching. I'm like, for $1,500 more, I got the globe and the monitor. Like, and then there was guys paying $7,000 for the monitor.
Damn.
And I'm just like, geez, man, like, shit, you can actually, for like 15 grand, you can damn near buy a new GPS.
Can you get the new ones though?
I mean, you can, it might take you a minute, but you can get them.
Cause that's the other thing. Cause like right now, the whole supply chain issues, like some stuff, it's like,
I've heard of people bitching about them.
Like, you can't get it. And so I can see where some stuff right now may bring more used than it did 2 years ago new, because
it's there.
You can't get it. Like,
yeah.
you can have the money in hand and they just can't physically get it to you.
Well, I'm going to this Tennessee Tractor one because I think they got a couple small tractors, and I told my wife, because we want to do the farm store and we're going to put it in. And I told her, I was like, if we're going to do like some kind of small patches, I was like, I need a small tractor. I need something, like maybe a 80 horse, 60 horse tractor that I can use in there. Cause I'm not going to pull an 8420 around like in there trying to do stuff, which I also would like a front end loader. And so, I'm going to go to see if they got some of those, smaller tractors and just kind of see what everything does. But, man, I don't know. Don't have very high hopes.
Yeah. Well, there's like I say, there's that other one, but it's the same day. And I doubt I get to it. Like, I'm 99% certain I won't, because my kids are playing rec basketball and everything else. So our Saturdays are pretty well planned, but it's also online. so I'll be watching.
Yeah.
I could stand to upgrade on a little bit of my hay equipment.
Yeah.
Which I've had all my hay equipment for less than a year, only about 6 months now, really. But there's 2 or 3 things where I'm like, if I could find a little better hay rake, I might take the opportunity to upgrade. Mine's fine. I probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Same way with like my mower and whatnot. But, well, like you said, because I bought that old 4030 to give me an extra tractor to have in the hay field. But dang, to have because my Kubota's like 135 horse. To have like a smaller, like 80 horse tractor, but that also had a loader on it, man,
they're just handy. They're just handy tractors.
Super handy. Like, you can, I think I said it in one of my last YouTube videos, if anybody out there, like, you're a beginning farmer, whatever, you're getting ready to buy your first tractor, and you're just doing some cows or whatever, and you're thinking, you're needing something like that 60 to whatever, 150 horse, somewhere in there. and you're thinking, well, I don't really know that I need a loader. Buy the loader. Buy the one with the loader. Don't even think twice. You will use that loader in ways you won't even realize you'll use it. I mean, I do it all the time. I mean, literally things where you would never thought that I would have used that.
Well, ours is a front end loader. Like out here, we use it to get seed off trailers and chemicals. And
I bought a full pallet of feed today. And I could have unloaded it by hand, but heck, it was really nice just to use that tractor to unload it. And then,
well, as you get older, man, you work smarter, not harder.
And I mean, which like I would like to have 2 tractors with loaders because I got one. Because ultimately, I'd like to get a 25-foot gooseneck with like a 5-foot dovetail. I could haul equipment on, but could also you can stack, I don't know, sometimes 16, 18 rolls of hay on there.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to have a tractor to load it and unload it.
Yeah.
Because
I use
the Hay Express trailer. Yeah, right. Where I can, it dumps them on its own. But if you get a trailer like that, you can haul a lot more. But you got to have a loader tractor both where you're loading and unloading.
Yeah.
It's just stuff like that. Spreading gravel. Always go for the loader tractor if given an option.
Well, I will add too, I have bought a cotton planter.
Yeah.
So it's going down.
You are officially a cotton farmer. Or will be.
I haven't earned the title yet.
That's right.
But I will. I'm buying went and looked at it, and we've been agreed on it and everything. But I'm buying a planter. It's a 12-row case, red planter, and I think it'll be solid. It'll be a good one to start. I was going to buy a 9970 picker, and go on and just get a picker and everything else, but to kind of dip my toes in the water here, I'm gonna let them.
I think you're probably doing it the right way.
Yeah, I'm just gonna buy a roller picker, brand new.
Yeah.
About $1,200,000.
Yeah, about 1.2 million.
Yeah.
New.
I'm just gonna get that and see if I like it. If I don't, I'll just park it in the shed and just put Christmas lights on it.
That's right. I think what are you thinking about? A couple 100 acres next year?
Yeah. I'm figuring 200 acres probably max. And like I said, I done talked to we got some family friends that are big into cotton. They're gonna pick it for me. It is expensive. I mean, it's expensive to get it picked. Like I really really weighed the option, man, because I'm gonna say I could probably pick it myself cheaper, but like even buying the equipment, if I can get the stuff is the price that I'm thinking, I mean, I'd probably still come out cheaper.
Yeah. I think you're doing it right. One, stuff is so high right now. If it goes just awesome, then a year from now, I don't know, stuff may be even higher a year from now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm less invested.
You may hate it.
That's what I was going to say. That's been my thing. Like I got to thinking, I was like, what if I do it? And I'm like, man, piss on doing cotton, and then worst case now I'll have a planter. And I mean, the planter is old. It's an old planter. It don't have section shut off. Like, I'm paying around $10,000 for this planter. So like, it's not a lot of money put at it, from the grant. Like,
if you totally hate it, you can turn around and sell that planter this time next year.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm like, that's not a big deal. But if I had the planter, the cotton picker, a module builder, a bowl buggy, like that's quite a few things to have to shed if I find out I really don't like this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to test the waters this coming season, but I'm excited to try a new crop and just see what it does. So that's the route we're going to go.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it'll be fun to kind of update.
Yeah, cotton's one of those things, when I go to the grocery store, like, and I'm the weirdo. I know the average consumer's not like this. Like, I think about like, I want to buy beef.
Yeah.
And like next to beef, I'm like, all right, next best thing, and it's pretty vertically integrated, but pork. Like, and again, nothing against chicken farmers, and last to be chicken,
Yeah.
Just because I feel like I'm supporting smaller farmers. You're getting further and further from the smaller farmer the closer you get to poultry. The same way, like when I'm buying clothes, and I'm like, I learned to appreciate the cotton a lot more than all the synthetic fabrics.
Polyester, is
Yeah.
it yeah.
Polyester and rayon and whatever else they're all made out of basically plastic.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, something renewable, sustainable, like cotton.
Sustainable.
But
you're good. Doing good by the environment.
that's right.
All right, well, I guess it's my turn on this one.
Well, let's get the fearless leader fired up.
Yep. Kind of got a different one. Got actually a pretty big curveball for us, but it'll be good for Christmas.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America.
All right.
So for this one, all right, so this is different. But I thought this would be a cool one. We're getting ready to go into Christmas time. I have ordered some stuff. So this is actually a website, or a company. You ever heard of Huckberry?
I have.
Have you ever ordered from them?
I have not.
Well, they're pretty cool. Like, I was trying to think here. All right, so I'm a fan of Henleys. I like Henleys when it gets cold.
Like a long sleeve shirt with like 4 buttons.
I feel like a sexy lumberjack when I have that on.
You undo like
I have one or two undone. Yeah.
Three of the 4 undone.
Yeah, it's a panty dropper when I wear that.
If you were a woman, you'd be showing off all the cleavage.
That's right. And so, like, for instance here, I looked up Henleys. Well, there's a filter here. I was trying to look. I'm almost positive.
For Made in USA?
There was something you could actually, there was a way to look it up on here, Made in the USA.
Yeah.
I don't remember how I found it, but you can find it on there. And I've got several Henleys, and they're made in the USA. I was trying to look and see if they had the brand of them on here. It was like Finn and...
We can do the brand of them on a future episode.
We could, but I don't know if you can even... The brand actually might be specific to Huckberry.
Huckberry, yeah. Well, like they're in-house.
Flint and Tender. That's what it is.
Flint and Tender.
Flint and Tender. They were made in USA. At least the ones I got are. And I'm assuming that they're sure or everything else is. But like they're Jackson, there's a flannel. Like they make all kinds of stuff. They don't just have Henleys. All right. That one might not.
Yeah, it must be their in-house brand, because when you look them up, it takes you straight to Huckberry.
The Flint and Tender?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're surplus. Here's a Henley. I am almost certain there was one that I got. Oh, no. See, it ain't Flint and Tender then, because that one right here says responsibly made in China. But there was one of them that I ordered from Huckberry, and it's a Henley, and it's made in the USA.
Okay.
But there was they have like, you can look it up on here somehow. I don't remember how I did it, but I guess I should have been more prepared.
Put a filter on there that for Made in USA.
Yeah. And Huckberry, it's cool. It's really good, especially for Christmas time, because you need to stock up on some gifts for somebody, or if, we might have some ladies listening that want to get their man something, and, get him a Henley. If you want him to look like a sexy lumberjack for you, then
that's exactly
get him a Henley shirt. So huckberry.com is the website.
I have heard of them, but I've never actually.
I have ordered several things off of there before. It's kind of a cool, it's kind of a rugged, it even has a rugged feel to the site.
Yeah. They got marketing people.
Oh yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yep, they do. Guys, if you watched on YouTube, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, and share it. And if you listen, leave us a rating and a review. Oh, yeah, now we didn't forget here. We told you guys last week, we were almost going to let this go, that we would have some apparel. Now, we got an idea here, and we want to run it past everybody. All right, we were thinking, if y'all have seen the join or die thing from back in like the
Gadsden flag.
Yeah. With the snake. All right, it used to say join or die, and it had the snake separated. Was it into the colonies?
Yeah.
All right, we were thinking of a farm or die style shirt like that, and obviously have some branding company kind of spruce it up, make it look pretty cool. But we'd like to hear your thoughts. Would you rock a farm or die shirt like that? And hats and shirts. Would you like something like that, or would you? I mean, or do y'all just want something simple? Talk dirt to me. I mean, let us know. We obviously we.
Well, I like the kind of. That's not really a subtle message, but there's lots of kind of ways you can take that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of, and all of them are probably pretty appropriate. But us kind of wanting to promote more people getting into the industry, smaller farmers, smaller operations. That probably being the kind of the main kind of theme behind it. But yeah, that was one idea that we were both like, yeah, I think that one might have some traction there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we want to know. Let us know, because before we move forward with this, we want to know if that's something you guys would wear. I would wear it. I think Bobby Lee would wear it. So
yeah, like I say, we'll if we decide to run with the idea, we'll get it to some kind of graphic designer that can actually.
Bobby Lee will draw it.
Yeah. I'm very artistic. I had a drawing that made it to like the state junior beta club.
Really?
One year.
What was it of?
A duck.
A duck.
It was actually, they have the duck stamp contest.
Yeah.
So I had drawn a duck for that, and then I just submitted it for the beta club thing too, just because we always just wanted to go to the convention.
Yeah.
And as long as you had something that made it to the state, you got to go. And so I got to go with that picture, and I ended up placing at the state.
Wow.
It was weird.
So Bobby Lee really might draw the design for the shirt.
That was the last time I ever had any piece of art ever recognized for anything. Like my kids literally, they got their little doodle thing. It's almost like an Etch-a-Sketch, but it's like the fancier new version.
Yeah.
My daughter will be like, draw a horse, and I'll draw it. And she'll look at it, and she'll just hit the erase button.
Yeah.
What? I can't even impress my 8-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, there you go, guys. Let us know what you think. You can reach out to either one of us on Instagram at Hurricane Creek Farm, at low.hanks, talkdirtpodcast.com. Go on there, contact page, shoot us a message on there. We get the emails, we read them, and let us know what you think of the design, if that'd be something you'd be into. And again, share this with your friends. Hope y'all have a good one.
Yep. Talk to you next week.